Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, finishing off Fan Fridays with some Aegislash mechanics, some good predictions, and just an overall great double battle. I'm looking forward to it, so let's see how this one ends up going. So, also, according to, I want to say ANF for the name. Some of these I just butcher because they're so hard. He said that the opponent had over 1680 rating, which means that this is going to be a very high level battle, and let's get into it. So first off, we're opening up with that Venusaur. Mega Venusaur in double battles can just be a huge drain and sustain tank. We also have Chansey rocking that Eviolite, and here we go, Jinx. I was kind of surprised. I'm like, what's Jinx going to do? Jinx goes and steals Prankster, which is just incredible. That, you know, if you want to make a Pokemon work, you find a way to make it work, and that's Jinx. Using its speed and skill swap to be able to steal Klefki's Prankster, making it just not as useful. It's actually very amazing. Very impressive. So, now that it has stolen, has stolen Klefki's main ability, and the main reason why it's so strong, it goes and switches out into Gothitelle. Klefki, though, since all the other Pokemon are slow, does get that Thunder Wave in. Still, just very impressive play right here. Also, Venusaur now getting a double Leech Seed as the opponent is switching out and setting up and trying to get something going. Chansey, though, having enough damage to finish off Klefki. Wow, that was actually a 2-hit KO on the Flamethrower. Very impressive. Now, Leech Seed could be healing Venusaur right now, but no one's attacked him yet, so he's just stealing 1/8 of their health every turn until further notice. Here comes Talonflame, and here is where the battle gets interesting. The opponent knows he has to switch out, and decides to switch into Mawile, knowing that the Brave Bird won't do too much damage to it. Good predictions all around, very enjoyable still. Talonflame using U-turn, getting a prediction, knowing that the opponent's going to switch, hitting super effective onto Gothitelle, and then backing out as it takes the Intimidate. This battle's getting good right here. And then we go into Aegislash. I could talk for hours about how Aegislash is the most technically advanced Pokemon. Now it gets even more interesting. Sludge Bomb doing a good chunk of damage. If the poison was still up, that would be more than enough to KO with that Leech Seed, doing 1/4 of Gothitelle's health. So there's 1/8 right there, getting sapped away, and the poison most likely would have been a finishing blow right there. We do get to see Mega Mawile Mega Evolving, or Mawile Mega Evolving into Mega Mawile. And where does it go from here? Aegislash setting up that Swords Dance. You have a lot of options on the first turn as Aegislash. You can go for an attack. Not the best option, but sometimes it works. You also have Swords Dance, you have King Shield. Try to really play out your opponent. Gothitelle setting up the Reflect. So, Venusaur taking a good chunk of damage though, setting up the Leech Seed, thus getting roughly 1/4 of, or in theory, 1/4 of its health back because it gets 1/8 and 1/8. Unfortunately, Venusaur does have more health than them, so it's probably going to be closer to maybe a 1/6 instead of 1/4. I'm trying to do some math here. So Gothitelle does go down to the Leech Seed. Mawile still seated, taking a little bit of chip damage. Aegislash is setting up in the background. How is this battle going to go, bringing back in Blissey? So, Flamethrower onto Venusaur. I'm not sure where the opponent is going right now, honestly. I guess he was anticipating a King Shield trying to absorb the opponent's hits. And, yeah, it's just a focus fire on Venusaur since he is sustaining so well. Gets a KO. I was expecting that to be a critical hit from the massive amount of damage, but the Flamethrower double focus up was enough. So Flamethrower finally hits Aegislash. This Blissey has to be like Choice Spect. Never mind about the Eviolite. That's doing a good amount of damage for a Blissey. That's crazy. So here comes the Sacred Sword. That's a physical hit. There's no way Blissey can deal with that, which means that the opponent knows that it's going to have to be using an attack on with Talonflame onto Mawile. Except not. So now this is where the battle gets crazy. Aegislash versus, I want to say, I think it's 3 right now. Gothitelle just, no, 2. Aegislash versus 2. So we have Jinx and Mawile. Aegislash with the Shadow Sneak going into that +4 onto Jinx. Not enough damage. Focus Sash coming in. This is where it starts getting a little risky right now. Since it used, that's pretty interesting though, Sucker Punch not being able to land because of the priority from Shadow Sneak, which means that that was actually a pretty solid move right there. Aegislash getting the leftovers heal as the Twisted Dimensions return to normal, going into that King's Shield. Alright, so that's going to pretty much be just a free little soak up from leftovers. We're going to see what Jinx is up to. It looks like it's just trying to focus fire onto Aegislash, finishing him off for the turn, but the opponent mispredicted right there, and now loses attack. Looks like this is Aegislash at its finest. How is this one going to play out? Sucker Punch prediction lands. Oh man, that's cutting it close right there. Going for the Sacred Sword onto, oh no, not even, the Shadow Sneak. So because the Twisted Dimensions had reversed, Aegislash was no longer faster, therefore Sucker Punch working. So missing the prediction right there by a bit. I think that might have been the opportunity to go, well, it's actually really hard to tell, because you could have gone for another Swords Dance, try to open up for that Sucker Punch, but even then, it's really just trying to hide and outpredict all those Sucker Punches. You did get Jinx off the field, so I think that was actually the best risk to take now that everything's weighed out, which is very amazing. So now it's just kind of waiting back. I think what's about to happen here is just straight up Swords Dance. You know, just Swords Dance and King Shield and trying to really outpredict the opponent's Sucker Punch while not taking that Thunder Punch and trying to get leftovers to heal it up enough to where it can attack. So there's another King Shield right there. Did the opponent see it coming, went for the Sucker Punch, which means now the opponent is most likely going to try to use Thunder Punch. However, that could be an out prediction right there. Goes into the King Shield again. Opponent went for the Thunder Punch right there as predicted. So it's like, what are you trying to... It's like, what could happen here? Are you going to try to out predict your opponent, or is your opponent going to out predict you? This is when you get into each other's heads so much. Using King Shield 3 turns in a row, just really trying to get your opponent to misunderstand. So the opponent's probably thinking he might attack me this time. Is it going to be another Sucker Punch? Gets the King Shield, working for him twice in a row, just hiding behind that King Shield. Actually gets the attack drop from the Thunder Punch right there. That's pretty insane. And this is just really stalling at its max. Kind of waiting for that opportunity. Another King Shield, another Sucker Punch fake out. That's just all over the place right there, but it looks like, with enough persistence, another free King Shield because it has failed and succeeded so many times in a row. Thunder Punch really causing the opponent just to be locked down. Now at -6, the lowest attack possible, Aegislash can finally attack freely. No, it just keeps using King Shield. It has the chance to, so why not? Aegislash protects itself, the attack won't go any lower. Getting as much leftovers as possible. This is brutal. This is brutal right here. I would have never thought that this strategy would work under any circumstance. Thunder Punch not doing any damage. And then here it comes. That's the Sacred Sword. That's going to be the KO. +6. There's no way they're surviving that. This has got to be... Now that I'm looking back on what just happened, I'm at a loss for words, because if you think about it, I think that's the only situation, the only Pokemon with Aegislash, you know, being so mechanically masterful and so technical of a Pokemon. I think this is essentially the only situation where literally using King Shield, what was that, 9 turns in a row? Was that even 10 turns? When using King Shield consecutively, or any form of protection consecutively, being the better strategy and ending up taking out a Mega Pokemon. That's Aegislash. That's the power right there. All options are open with Aegislash. I never thought about that actually being successful, but it has been. So the possibilities and limitations of Aegislash gets pushed even further. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's a good way to end Fan Fridays, and I hope you all have a nice day.